Majestic Marie and Alora. Got the wrestling world right here, no need to go far. All girls podcast, bringing vibes so grand. Talking power bombs and peaches, we've got the upper hand. With a smile, positivity, and tales of the ring. From Eddie Kingston's moves to each title swing, we're here to cheer, laugh, and maybe even cry. Join us on this ride, let's kiss that heel goodbye. Peaches and power bombs, let's start the show, where legends come to dance and superstars glow. Listeners, come closer, hear the stories flow. With Majestic Marie and Alora, watch your fandom grow. Every episode's a celebration, moments that we hold. No storyline too big, no champion too bold. For the love of the sport, for each crowd's thunder, wrestling's in our hearts, ever full of wonder and glow. Every episode's a celebration, moments that we hold. No storyline too big, no champion too bold. For the love of the sport, for each crowd's thunder, wrestling's in our hearts, ever full of wonder. So raise your signs high as we speak the truth of epic rivalries and glory of youth. From Eddie's grit to the diva's reign, in every bout there's joy amidst the pain. Oh, peaches and power bombs, let's start the show, where legends come to dance and superstars glow. Listeners, come closer, hear the stories flow. With Majestic Marie and Alora, watch your fandom grow. Watch your fandom grow.
Hello everybody, and welcome to Peaches and Power Bombs. I am, of course, Majestic Marie. Alora was going to try to come on tonight, but unfortunately her hotspot was just not having it. Unfortunately, pretty sad about that. We, of course, love Alora, and we want her to be on the show. It's not Peaches and Power Bombs without Alora. Let me just get that straight. This is not my show. This is our show, and it will never be complete without her. So I just wanted to say that. Really sad that she wasn't able to be on here, and looks like she did leave a message though. And she said, my hotspot is not going to work tonight until I can get Wi-Fi. There's no way I can continue. That'll be months, if not a year or more. Sorry. Oh, so sad. And Elvis, of course, is here. We'll see, Elvis. He says you know what to do. We haven't played our traditional videos yet, so we're going to wait. And Christina's here, and of course she misses Alora like we all do. It's very sad. But I'm going to try to track on in her name with her blessing, trying to keep the show up and running so she has something to come back to. So here I am, and you guys know the drill. Here on Peaches and Power Bombs, we always have the Briscoe brothers get us hyped up and ready for the show. So let them take it away.
Ain't no way, chick. Ain't ready. There ain't no way, man. Ain't ready. Ain't no way y'all could possibly be ready.
You can say you're ready as many times as you want.
That's all I'm gonna tell you.
Y'all boys ain't ready.
There's no way, man. Talking about they anxious. You hear him, chick?
Hey.
Somebody losing sleep.
They losing sleep, baby. I've been getting the best sleep of my life.
I've been snoring, baby.
Snoring,
I've been snoring.
Dreaming about this ass.
Does it get any better than the Briscoe brothers? I don't think so. And of course, we miss Jay. And so let's go ahead and take care of business. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Most of you guys already have. Y'all are really awesome. You tell your friends about us here on Peaches and Power Bombs. And we're just excited for you guys to be with us. And it's just me tonight. Like I said, Laura was having some technical difficulties, but we love her and we wish her all the best. And we cannot wait for her to come back to the show. Let's see. Caden Booker is here. Welcome. He says, Rusty ZJ Briscoe. Absolutely. We love him. And Elvis says, speedy recovery for Mammy Liv Morgan. She's the GOAT of women's wrestling. And Elvis says, I know I'm awesome. Thank you. You're not too bad. And because we like you, Elvis, I'll go ahead and play you the clip. There it is. Here we go.
You there, sitting at home, acknowledge me.
Okay, so first things first, I know that it's been a little bit of a hot minute since we've been on Peaches and Power Bombs. It's been quite a long time since we've talked about WWE. So let me go ahead and get into it. I kind of broke it up into the women's category and then the men's category tonight. I'm going to try to talk a little bit about everything if I possibly can. It's going to be difficult to cover everything that we've missed in the past several months, but I am going to do my best. So speaking of what Elvis mentioned a while ago, talking about Liv Morgan, yes, she is part of the lineup tonight, and poor Liv Morgan. The match on Monday Night Raw barely even started, and it was just a freak accident. She landed wrong on her shoulder, dislocating it, and it does look like, according to reports from PWI Insider, that she will require surgery, and she will probably be out for at least 6 months. So we're wishing Liv Morgan a very speedy recovery and hoping that her surgery goes well and that she is healthy and she is able to do what she loves as quickly as possible. We wish her all the best. Elvis is asking a question that I'll get to in just a few minutes, but I do want to talk about Liv Morgan. And guys, please be part of the conversation. I don't want to be talking to myself all night. I really appreciate the viewer interaction. It helps me keep going on. And okay, the connection is a little unstable here. Caden says that they were excited for the possibility of Liv and Raquel versus the Bella Twins, which it probably will be. Sucks that won't happen at Revolution. Yes, exactly. That's what I was just about to talk about. It looked like that it was going to be the Bella Twins versus Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships at Evolution, which will be here in Atlanta, on July the 13th. And that's not going to happen anymore because poor Liv Morgan is, of course, injured and going to be out for probably the rest of the year now. So what is going to happen with this? Because something has to happen, right? Like, we have to fix this somehow. We brought in Nikki Bella. We're possibly bringing in Brie at some point in time. Raquel is still here, I'm believing. I think Raquel is fine. And so what are we going to do with these women's tag team championships? And do we still move along with the Bella Twins facing someone for those titles at Evolution? Is this how it's going to go? I still think that it's a possibility. I don't know how it's going to be pulled off at this point, and how much of a strong showing it'll be, because with Liv Morgan at the front of this thing, it was very interesting and it was going to be a lot of fun to watch. But now, Liv Morgan is just this little bubble of personality, and she's so appealing to watch in so many different ways. And everybody likes to watch Liv Morgan. She's she's the entire package. I love her. I absolutely love her, and it's very unfortunate. And she was about to have this really great showing at Evolution, and now it's not going to happen. So what are we going to do? Are we going to have just scrap this whole thing and have a completely different team face the Bella Twins and maybe create something out of thin air? Or do we give Raquel Rodriguez a new tag team partner so she can still continue to be part of the women's tag team division, part of and being a tag team champion? So what do we do? Do we have? I think the only possibility in this is having Roxanne Perez take Liv's place, and it would actually kind of still fit into everything because Roxanne Perez, Finn Balor is bringing her into the fold and being like, yeah, let's bring her into the Judgment Day. What do you say, Liv? And trying to stir the pot with Liv Morgan and make her uneasy. And maybe putting a wedge between Liv Morgan and Dominic with Roxanne Perez. So we already had this dynamic going on between those two. What better way to make it even bigger when Liv Morgan eventually gets to come back, and have Roxanne step up, take Liv Morgan's place, become a tag team champion with Raquel, so Raquel does not have to relinquish. Gat gets on her side, and she of course has Finn Balor on her side, and now Roxanne Perez is going to have Raquel Rodriguez on her side, and eventually maybe slowly getting the rest of the Judgment Day on her side too, because she's helping Raquel Rodriguez stay women's tag team champions. So how are, that'll just fit into the whole narrative that they've already built for this, and it's going to turn all of Liv Morgan's closest allies against her by the time that she gets back, because we're going to take away her bodyguard in Raquel Rodriguez, maybe even her boyfriend in Dominic Mysterio, and the rest of the Judgment Day as well. It's going to kind of be the same thing as with what happened between Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley last year. So we'll have to wait and see how it goes. It just fits in. Very unfortunate thing, of course, with Liv Morgan being injured, but they have a way out of the predicament with putting Roxanne Perez in her place. Not that we want anyone to take Liv Morgan's place, but that's just the way it is. So it's going to be really great. I think that's the way to go. Let me see what you guys think while I get a drink of water. Let's see. Christine says that she's not a fan of Liv, but I do hope her surgery goes well with no complications or issues. Absolutely. We want everyone to be happy and healthy. And it looks like everybody's pretty much on the same place. Roxanne possibly takes Liv's spot for her. That's my hope. And my brother Strav is in here, and he says Roxanne and Raquel versus the Bellas. And he says, that's why you're my sister. I love you too, bro. I love you too. And let's see. And Captain Commander says, what's up? So yeah, I think it's the way to go. Roxanne is still in the women's Queen of the Ring tournament, of course, but I don't expect her to win that match. So speaking of the Queen of the Ring, wait, let me go back a little bit. Something that I did not haven't covered yet is that Naomi is our Mrs. Money in the Bank. She's doing a really great job. My goodness, guys, tell me how great Naomi's heel turn has been lately. It's been absolutely fantastic. The proceed with caution, the diabolical laugh that she has, even her entrance theme is completely different than what she had before. It sounds more sinister, and she's off her rocker right now, and it's really great to see. I love this character change for Naomi. We get to see a lot of personality come out of her, and I'm really loving her work right now. And I'm really happy that she won Money in the Bank. Of course, everybody wants to jinx it and say that she's going to lose it. She's going to cash in and lose. She's going to be the first woman to do that. I don't really see that happening. And her Money in the Bank win, I think, is closely going to be related to who wins the Queen of the Ring tournament. And I say that because, of course, her arch nemesis at the moment is Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill is in the Queen of the Ring tournament at the present time. I believe moving forward that Jade Cargill is going to win the Queen of the Ring tournament, and she's going to go on and face Tiffany Stratton at SummerSlam for the women's championship on that brand. She's going to win this title at that time, but she's not going to hold it for very long because Naomi is going to come in directly after this match is over. When Jade wins, Naomi is going to cash in and steal the championship and win the title off of Jade. And then we're off to the races, and Jade is completely focused on Naomi because while she has been, Naomi's been around her and has been, wrecking havoc, of course, her complete focus has not entirely been on Naomi this whole time. It's been, she's a little bit focused over here on Tiffany Stratton, or she might be over here focused on someone else. She kind of still has this ick about Bianca Belair and all these different kinds of movements. She has a lot of, her attention span is her attention is broken up, let's just say. This will put it all on Naomi, and it'll be all Jade going after Naomi for a few months. I don't know exactly when it'll happen, but it will eventually come down to Jade Cargill versus Naomi for the title. And at that moment, I'm not sure if Bianca will get involved at that time. I know she's injured at the moment. I believe she broke her finger or something at WrestleMania, but that should be healing up pretty soon. And what will Bianca's role be in all of this? Will she side with Jade? Will she side with Naomi? Or will she just be a neutral party and go, I don't want any part in this. You guys fight it out. We'll have to see what happens. But I really, really think that Jade Cargill is going to win the Queen of the Ring tournament. She's going to face Tiffany Stratton and win the title at SummerSlam. And then a few minutes later, Naomi's going to come in, cash in on her, and steal that belt right from underneath her nose. So let me see what you guys think. Rejuvenation says that plot twist, Raquel turns on Liv for Roxanne. Yeah, I really think that that's what's going to happen. Roxanne is going to step in and save Raquel's title run, right? So of course you're going to side with her when this is all said and done. And Liv Morgan's going to come back and go, wait, what about me? What about me? I'm here. I'm the most decorated women's champion, blah, blah, blah. It's all about me. And Raquel's going to be like, no, wait a minute. I held down the fort. Roxanne stepped in and saved this title run. She's been there for me this whole time. Maybe even have Roxanne treat Raquel a little bit better than Liv does and just keep building onto that and, creating that division between Liv and Raquel eventually. Liv Morgan is a cow. Sucks she's injured. Hopefully she might win in 2026 Royal Rumble winner. Who knows? I'm really hoping that she'll be back as quickly as she can. I hate she's injured too because she had such a great year last year, and she has proven so many people wrong. A lot of people said that they didn't have a whole lot of hopes for Liv Morgan, and she's not just a pretty face. She's really dived into this, and she's really put the work in. Jade fights for belt, and then Naomi cashes in on her. Yes, exactly. I don't know if they're going to go that route. I would actually prefer, because we've already seen that, and I know I've kind of already talked about maybe Dirty Dom getting on with Roxanne. I think that's done though. Been there and done that. I think the bigger I would rather them seeing her win Raquel in more than Dominic, but we'll see. It's fine if they do that though. Christine says that Roxanne is not to be trusted. She's going to turn on Raquel as soon as she can. Yeah, kind of like that. We'll see how it goes though. She gave him chicken nuggets. Well, they say that a way to a man's heart is through his stomach. So if that's the case, Liv Morgan, you better watch out. Okay, so we talked about Liv Morgan. We talked about Naomi winning the Money in the Bank. We've talked about the Queen of the Ring. Let's talk. All right, we're still on the ladies here. And so let's talk about the Women's Intercontinental Championship run here. Becky Lynch, Bailey, and Lyra. Of course, this all happened around WrestleMania. This whole storyline started then. And we were supposed to have at WrestleMania Bailey and Lyra Valkyria challenging Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez for the Women's Tag Team Championships at WrestleMania. Bailey gets attacked by a mysterious person. We don't know who it is. And who is there? Lo and behold, Lyra's old friend, her mentor, Becky Lynch, steps in and she takes the place. They win the tag titles for one day, then they lose it the next day. And Becky gets mad that they lost the titles and she turns on Lyra, and we're off to the races. Lyra and Becky Lynch have had 2 different matches for the title, I believe. And Becky Lynch won the title off of Lyra Valkyria in the second one. And then we had, of course, Bailey. I think Bailey showed up last week. Yeah, she showed up last week to get her revenge on Becky Lynch. And to me, it looks like it's going to be. I know Becky Lynch and Bailey are going to have a match next week, but it's a non-title match, I believe. But eventually, I believe that this match is going to be Becky Lynch versus Bailey versus Lyra Valkyria for the Intercontinental Championship at Evolution. That's the way it looks for me. I can't say that this has gone. I think this has been pretty good. Lyra looks like a deer in headlights to me still. She still looks like she can't believe she's there. And I understand that feeling, because if it was me, I would probably be that way too. But she's very talented, and I think she just needs to get more comfortable in her role. And once she does that, she's going to be really great. But who 2 better women to be in there with to help you along in that path than Becky Lynch and Bailey? They're fantastic. I love both of them. Bailey is probably my favorite women's wrestler at the moment. Well, she's been for a while. I traveled all the way, I traveled 8 hours to go see her win the Royal Rumble last year. So I'm a really big Bailey fan. I can't be mad if this is the way they're going. There's a 99.999% chance that this is what's happening. So it'll be all good. So let me see what you guys think. Well, John, if you don't like it, just go. Leave. If you don't like it, that's all you have to do. Captain Commander, commentator says, did anyone else almost cry when Zoe Stark got injured? It was crazy, Captain, because I was actually there in person when that happened. And it was pretty crazy. Her knee went the other way, and it was not a pretty sight. All right, I'm going to ban you. All right. That's okay. No tears, but surely an uneasy stomach. Yeah, that was a gross spot. I was there. All right. Let's see. Let's move on. Okay, so I know TKO raising ticket prices on both WWE and UFC is crazy. Yeah, it's getting absolutely insane. Like I would love to go to Evolution. I would love to go to all the shows that's going to be in Atlanta next month, but it's probably not going to happen. But I try to go when I can, but sometimes it's just not happening. But it's the prices are out of this world. It's crazy. Logan is here. Welcome, Logan. If I can get it to come up. There it goes. Shawn Michaels should try booking the women's division on Raw and SmackDown. I'm interested to see what would happen, whether it turns out to be the best or not. It would definitely be exciting to watch. Shawn Michaels does a really great job, and I wouldn't be opposed to him. But I will say that the women on Raw and SmackDown right now, or at least on Raw, is more interesting than the men right now. I actually enjoyed their matches more on Money in the Bank than I did the men's. The women's Money in the Bank was better, in my opinion. Zoe does never get a fair shot. Every time something happens with her, and I really hate it. Burnt Guy says HBK always has a touch of magic, but if it ain't broke, yeah, I think he's doing a great job. I think he's doing a great job with NXT, and the women's roster right now on the main roster is doing just fine too. I love watching WWE and UFC, but those prices for tickets is too much for me. I understand round one. It's crazy. I wait usually until the last minute until someone is reselling their tickets, and I'll try to get those up. Revolution, that's my friend Gary Joe. He says, I shared your live stream. Well, that's sweet, especially since I'm talking about WWE. Captain says, do you think Chica Tormenta will get a main roster call up from AAA? I don't know, and I'm going to be honest, Captain, I am so sorry, but I'm not all that familiar with the people on AAA. I'm trying to learn everyone. It's almost impossible to consume all of the wrestling that is available. There's so much. I don't even watch all of what WWE puts out. I don't even watch what all AEW puts out either. So it's really difficult. I just watch what I can when I can. So, but if she's really great, then sure. Okay. I have the women's champions up here to talk about next, and then we're gonna talk about the men's side of things. We kind of already know what's going to happen with Tiffany Stratton, of course. They're probably going to keep her busy with Nia Jax for a little bit longer until we get to SummerSlam, which will have that Jade Cargill match, is what I'm guessing. Io Sky is a little bit more of a head scratcher to me. I'm not exactly sure where they're going with her. They did tease something with her and Liv Morgan, but of course Liv Morgan is out of commission at the moment. She unfortunately had that injury on Monday Night Raw, so that's not going anywhere. So what would be next for Io Sky? Do you guys have any suggestions what they could do with her leading up? To me, honestly, I would love to see her versus Asuka, since Asuka first came back and they have all that history of being in Damage Control together, and of course, wrestling all over Japan in different places. So I would like it to be Io Sky versus Asuka. Asuka's just coming back. I would like to see her showcased and in a really big match coming up for SummerSlam since she's back. But I don't know what they're going to do. Obviously, I'm not in the company. I'm just a girl on the internet talking, so we'll see how it goes. Christine says, there is so much out there. It seems like something new comes up every other week. Yes, it's a lot. In your opinion, who is the greatest of all time? That's really difficult. Like, who do I like the best, or who, like, if you take out like my personal opinion, who do I think is the greatest? That's really hard. Of course, they're Ric Flair is up there. Just all around performer. I don't know. I really don't know. Probably Ric Flair or someone like that. Who just had everything, all the boxes ticked. Now, who do I like the best is way different than who is the greatest. Because I go more on how people make me feel than I do like how perfect they are in the ring or how perfect they are on the mic. Make a Mount Rushmore. Ric Flair, The Undertaker. I don't want to say Hogan. Can't stand him. Okay. Ric Flair, The Undertaker, Macho Man, and I can't pick a fourth person. GOAT of the women's division. Currently, that has to be Liv Morgan. I think she's going to be in the top 5 when all of this is said and done. Liv Morgan. All right. So we'll see what happens with Io Sky, her championship, and we'll see what happens with Tiffany Stratton's championship. All right, we're going to move down to the men's section. I want to talk about the boys. And we're going to talk about the men's Money in the Bank winner. Seth Rollins, of course, won. The match itself was okay. I didn't really like it all that much. It's not that anybody did anything wrong. It just wasn't as appealing to me as the women's. But Penta was great. Chad Gable, or El Grande Americano, or whatever you want to call him, was great. Andrade was great. Seth Rollins was in there as well, and LA Knight, and everybody in that match was great, and it was fine. I did think that the women's was more entertaining for me personally. Seth Rollins winning is predictable, but it's not a bad thing. I kind of understand it because they're going with this thing where he's kind of taking over. He's taking over the shows and showing his dominance, and getting all these people on his side, and in his corner he has Paul Heyman in his ear now, so things are working right for Seth Rollins. I think that this might be the first time that in a while that either the men's or the women's, that someone doesn't hold the title for a long period of time, the briefcase for a long period of time. Sometimes the men's briefcase guy will hold it all year, and then the women will cash theirs in quickly, or it might be vice versa. I don't know if I've ever seen both the men and the women's Money in the Bank holders. I don't know if I've seen them both hold it for a long time or both cashed it in really quickly. I think that they're both going to cash it in the next couple months. I don't think either one of them is going to hold it for a long period of time. Now, I could be wrong. I absolutely could be wrong. I'm wrong a lot. I just a fan who likes to come on here and speculate because it's fun, right? So who knows what's going to happen? But I expect that Seth Rollins is going to cash in at Saturday Night Main Event. And I had this last, but I'm going to go ahead and talk about this now. During this Gunther and Goldberg match, I'm still on the fence of whether or not Goldberg is actually going to beat Gunther. Now, if you guys have been here for a while, you know, y'all know that Majestic Marie loves her some Gunther. Love me some Gunther. I love him a lot. And so, I'm a fan of Jey Uso too, so I was a little sad to see Jey Uso lose, but at the same time, I love Gunther so much that I'm like, I can't be mad at this. He's one of my favorites, right? So it's like, here we go. So I don't know what they're going to do here. I would prefer Gunther beating Goldberg and that being the end of it and everything is happy. But this is WWE, and they never do what I want them to do. So they will probably they will probably have Goldberg win this match, and then Seth Rollins cashes in. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. But I have a feeling that no matter who wins this match, either Gunther or Goldberg, Seth Rollins is probably going to cash in on either one of them and is going to walk away with the title, and then neither one of these guys are going to have it. So that's just me. That's just the feeling that I'm getting. It's probably not right. We'll just have to wait and see what happens on Saturday night's main event. But, you know, I don't know. Let's see. The thing is what's next for Seth. And my friend Molly is here. Aw, thank you. You are amazing, Molly, and I miss you. And we need to talk and get together soon. Lewis is here. Thank you for joining. Thank you so much for the love. And Jerry is here as well. Welcome, welcome. We have a Taker, Stone Cold, Hogan, and Cena. I don't like Hogan too, but I can't deny his impact. Yeah, perfect face, poor athlete. You can put Rock Shawn or Bret Hart or Flair, of course. Yeah. Yeah, it's really difficult because you know, so many people have done so many good things for wrestling, so it's really hard to make a Mount Rushmore. Captain says that Goldberg's last match should be a big deal. Why are they giving away on free TV? I think it's because it's on Saturday night's main event, and it is kind of like a specialty show. So there's that aspect of it, but it's also Saturday night's main event is also going to be in Atlanta, where Goldberg is from. So he probably wants to have his last match in front of his family in his hometown, and I can't really blame him. I mean, he made his name here. You know, WCW was, you know, its home front was Atlanta back in the day. So why not have your last match here in Atlanta, where he, you know, played football, where he's raised his family, and where he became such a very popular wrestler. So I understand it. Burnt Guy says there's a lot bigger potential matches to fill all the major main event matches for each Raw, SmackDown, or PLEs. Yeah, for the rest of the year. Jerry says that Gunther reminds me of Killer Kowalski back in the first Golden Era wrestling. Yeah, I love him. That's one of the reasons why I love him so much, Jerry, is because he's a callback to that old school mentality of wrestling. I don't know. There's just something about the characters that just come in and just want to just dominate, and they go home, right? They come in, they beat somebody up, They make them tap out. They laugh about it, and then they go home. I love that character. That type of wrestling character is my absolute favorite. See, Buddy says, Gunther reminds me so much of Walter. Whatever happened to that dude? I have no idea. He disappeared off the face of the earth. When Gunther popped up, I mean, Walter just, kind of, sinked into oblivion. I have no idea where he went. Goldberg won the world title in Atlanta. I remember it well. Yes, he did. All right, let me get a little drink and we will move on to the next thing. All right, let's see. Okay, so we talked about Seth Rollins maybe cashing in at the end of this match. I hope this match will be better than I think it'll go. I really hope it is. Not just for Gunther's sake, but for Goldberg's sake too. I was never really a big fan of his, but if this is, I can't deny that he was a big star back in the day. And if this is your last match, I want it to go well for that person. So I really do hope it goes well. Okay, next we have the Men's King of the Ring tournament. And here is where I'm a little, I'm not really sure which way it's going to go. Let me see. Let me see who is in. I'm trying to see. I forgot who all was in this tournament. All right. It's giving me NXT results right now. I know okay. It's still giving me NXT results. Anyway, okay, I think Randy Orton is in this so far still. Sami Zayn is in it still. Cody Rhodes is in it. And Jey Uso. I believe those are the people that's in it. I really don't know what they're going to do here. Cody versus Jey Uso is interesting. But I think that's going to be next, though. So what would be the finals? Actually, Burns says Ray versus Jay for the finals, maybe. But I think it would be more interesting to have it be Jey Uso versus Sami Zayn in the finals because if you remember correctly, back when Jey Uso won the world title after WrestleMania, the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania, Sami Zayn came out there. And of course, he was congratulating Jey Uso and telling him that he deserved it and he was happy that he won. But at the same time, Sami Zayn was kind of giving these little looks to Jey Uso when Jey Uso wasn't looking. So it really gave me the vibes that Sami was like, Jey Uso winning the title. So what if it's Sami? What if it's Sami? I don't know. I think that would be interesting. All it is water. See, it's just water. I'm not fancy. I drink 3 things: water, tea, or coffee, and that's about it. Bronson Reed is getting a big push. Bronson Reed's not in this match anymore. He lost to Jey Uso on Monday Night Raw. Okay, I reread that one. Jerry says, I'm hoping for Sami Zayn. I would love to see him get it. Yeah, that would be really, really interesting, I think. Sami is having stuff building with Seth too and carrying Cross. Yes, he is. That's what I've been enjoying lately. It hasn't just been one guy versus one guy. Each of their characters have been all of them have been kind of interacting all together. It's not just like this guy and then over here this guy and this guy. It's like it's kind of jumbled all together, but at the same time it makes sense. So I don't know, but maybe Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn versus Jey Uso, and Sami wins. And then we'll see if that creates anything between the two. I don't know. We'll have to see. Jerry says, in my opinion, Sami deserves to be champion. I think he does too. I really does too. And I think having Sami take it off of Seth or Gunther, I don't know, would make a lot of sense. Sami does want the title. C-Money does not like Sami Zayn. I'm sorry. And Burnt Guy says, it's a slow build. It is a slow build. We'll have to wait and see. I love an underdog too. It's fun to watch. I kind of like all aspects of wrestling. I do like that underdog story. Of course, I love monster characters, of course. I like Gunther. I was a big fan of Brock Lesnar, and other things too. But I do like the underdog story as well. We'll just have to wait and see, I guess. But yeah, I think it would be really interesting if it was. Christine says she wants somebody new, and she's getting sick of the same old, same old. Oh, you don't want Gunther and Jey Uso to exchange the titles every 5 days? And he did beat Gunther for the IC title, so unfinished business. We'll have to, because all of these people interact with everyone at some point in time, there's history there, and there's always something there to work with. That's what I like about stuff. They're not just creating things out of thin air, it seems. So I'm really excited about that. All right, let's move on to our last topic of the evening before I say goodnight. And that, of course, is the WWE Undisputed Championship thing that's going on, storyline, rivalry, whatever. We have John Cena, of course, with CM Punk, and I threw in R-Truth in there as well because he's kind of involved. And I'm going to tell you guys, I got so excited a couple weeks ago when CM Punk interrupted and got in John Cena's face, because back in the day, in around 2002, I guess, I stopped watching WWE on TV. I didn't like it. I was mad that I was 14 years old, and I was really upset with how the women were being treated on television. I didn't like it. I thought that they were degraded and disrespected, and I just didn't like it. So I stopped watching it. And I still went to local shows with my dad and everything, so I still consider myself a wrestling fan through that era. I just didn't watch it on television. And I didn't know about TNA, so I didn't watch it. So I'm not watching wrestling for a long period of time, probably a span of 10 years. And then in about 2011, I believe, I was sick. I was home from work, and I was sick. And I was strumming through the channels, and I happened to stop on wrestling, and I was like, I'm really sick. There's nothing else on TV. I'm going to just watch this, whatever. And CM Punk was on there. And I was like, I really like this guy. He's pretty cool. And so I kept watching after that. I kept tuning in and watching to see CM Punk because I liked him. And then a couple weeks later is when the pipe bomb happened. And he goes through that whole spiel, and I was like, oh, that's it. I am back totally now. So I attribute my return back to television wrestling, back to CM Punk versus John Cena, and that whole thing, and then CM Punk winning the title off of John Cena at Money in the Bank in 2011. So I loved it. It was so great. And so CM Punk really helped bring me back to wrestling. So I got really excited because I get to see it all play out again. And CM Punk's had been gone for several years at this point, and we didn't know we would ever see him come back to wrestling. And so this is like another dream come true almost. I know we've already seen it, but getting to see it again, because it was so great the first time, and getting to see it one more time before John Cena says goodbye. And CM Punk's probably not going to, he's probably got a couple more years in him, and then he's going to say goodbye too. So, it was nostalgic and magical, and CM Punk is so good. John Cena is really good too. I don't want to take that. And then we just have R-Truth coming out of nowhere and being the Achilles heel of John Cena, and always getting the best of John Cena when he least expects that R-Truth is going to be there. That's been a whole lot of fun. R-Truth, of course, was let go. We all know that. And then there was such an uproar, and asking and demanding and screaming for them to bring him back, that they had to bring him back. But they didn't just bring back R-Truth. They used this as this opportunity for R-Truth to kind of snap out of the alternate reality that he's been in. And now he's Ron Killings, even though he's R-Truth too, but he's Ron Killings. And he's not taking anything from Cena. And he's going after Cena any chance he gets. And this is really great. I love it. I don't know. I don't know if R-Truth is going to be the one to, he's not going to be the one to take the title off of Cena, but I do think that R-Truth is going to be a contributing factor when John Cena does eventually lose the title. I'm not exactly, I don't think CM Punk is winning the title here. John Cena is probably going to face Cody Rhodes again at SummerSlam. And I'm thinking that might be where it happens. Not 100% sold on that. We'll have to see what happens next. But it's just been a lot of fun. I know, a lot of people have been a little bit, down on John Cena's heel turn. And I understand that, because they've had to kind of throw things together really fast. But I've been enjoying it, especially his stuff with CM Punk and R-Truth, and of course Randy Orton. So I always say it, we'll have to wait and see, but it's true. We do have to wait and see, and I'm excited for it. All right, let me see what the comments say, and then I'm probably going to say goodnight. All right. Jerry says that CM Punk is my second favorite wrestler of all times. Only Dusty Rhodes I love more. You have very good taste there, Jerry. CM Punk is in my top 5 as well. My personal top 5. King Matthew III says, I kind of feel like Seth is going to try to cash in on the match between Punk and Cena, or at least distract Punk, which results in Cena retaining. Interesting. I kind of see Seth, like I said, cashing in on Goldberg and Gunther. We'll see what happens. Burnt Guy says Punk interferes with Cena versus Ron Killings, and then the seeds are planted for a major 3-way down the road. 3, interesting. I don't know. I can see him interfering with Cena and R-Truth, Ron Killings, But I don't know if that will lead to a three-way. But I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong. Captain says that I nearly wept when Truth came back. I can admit it. I was jumping up and down. I was so excited when our Truth came out there. When that dude came out and he's in a hoodie, and I was like, "Who is that? Who is that? Who is that?" And then I saw his skin. I was like, "Is that our Truth? Is that our Truth?" And there he was. And I was almost screaming. How do you feel about Phil taking the Saudi blood money? It is what it is. I don't have any problems with people going over there, I guess, because it's they're just wrestling in front of a crowd, and the people who are in attendance, those people are just trying to have a good time. But it's a little weird because he was so against it, and he was very publicly against it, so it's weird that he's gone back on his comments, but it is what it is. Jerry said, I started watching at age 10. Now, 41 years later, I consider myself a wrestling expert. Well, for that long a time, you see the patterns and you kind of know what's going on. King Matthew says it's also ironic that CM Punk is responsible for Cena losing a tables match to R-Truth back in the day. Maybe Truth tries to help Punk win the belt from Cena. Yeah, I don't know if it'll go back. Christine says, so many twists and possibilities. It could go anywhere. And Burnt Guy says, when do you usually do live streams like this? I try to do them every week. I haven't done one like this on WWE in a while, but I'm going to try to do a lot better. And it'll either be Tuesday or Thursday. Probably Tuesdays at 8 p.m. It is usually when I try to do my WWE streams. And every Wednesday afternoon at 4:45 p.m., I do a show called The Tailgate Party, and I stream it here on Peaches and Power Bombs. And we preview that night's AEW Dynamite, and that is me and my partner, me and my friend, my co-host Ray All Day. So Phenomenal A says, I don't get the problem with Punk going to Saudi. The wrestling business is full of hypocrites. Paul Levesque, Tony Khan, everything. I mean, it is what it is, and I don't really have a problem with it either. It's a place, and they're going to wrestle there. King Matthew says Orton is going to cost Truth his match against Cena next week. So Truth costs Orton the championship match at Backlash. Interesting. Yeah, that's what he said. He said he's not here to make friends. He's here to make money. Thank you, Christine. I appreciate the love. All right, guys. Well, that is the end of the show. And thank you all so much for joining me. We had at least 30 to 40 people streaming at any given time tonight. I really appreciate it. I loved the back and forth. And just talking about wrestling is one of my favorite things to do. So thank y'all for joining in, and make sure that you like, share, subscribe to our either Facebook or our YouTube channel, Peaches and Power Bombs, and tell your friends about us too. We're a very, very sweet, loving community here in our little orchard. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I will be back for the tailgate party on Wednesday with Ray All Day, and we will be talking about AEW. And then, of course, I will be here Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. to talk WWE and all kinds of different things in wrestling. So you guys stay peachy, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye. Good night, sweet peach. It's time to go. Good night, sweet peach.
Good night, sweet peach. Good night.